Let's first, just for those of you who are not familiar with Clever, let's first talk about what is Clever. With Clever, all of our JCPS students have a secure classroom, digital classroom, where they can easily access any materials their teachers want them to access or their school wants them to access. And as you know, it's very important to us in JCPS to ensure our students' data and their privacy is secure. So we talked about that with Learn Platform in the past few sessions, if you were with us, and how that's important that we have that security. I do not want my 9-year-old to turn 18 and all of a sudden have zero identity because her school did not take the measures needed to ensure that they are secure when online. So this is a very secure way for us to provide our students with a great experience with different digital learning platforms and programs that are approved for them to use. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how you access those resources and how you can curate your own digital experience for your students in your classroom and or your school, and then also how you can support those students learning. What I want to do for a second is watch this 2-minute video to share with you how Clever can help you with accessing different ed tech tools and how teachers can have more time to teach students and more time for students to learn. I know when I was in the classroom, I was in an elementary classroom. Many times I spent so much time getting everybody signed in. It was very important for them all to be signed in where I wanted them to be signed in. However, then I didn't have something like Clever to help me with that. So that's why it's so important that you learn about this tool that's available to you that helps you and your students have a great experience with digital learning platforms, and then also provides enough time for you as a teacher in the classroom to get the content you want to teach to your students.
I'm Lex, and I'm going to give you a walkthrough of what Clever is, why teachers love it, and some of our top teacher features. Picture this. You have 25 students in your middle school ELA class. You've prepped an amazing lesson that uses several ed tech programs or apps. As students go to log in, you see one hand go up, then another, and another. Students can't remember their various usernames for different programs. Oh, and you have 2 new students today who don't even have accounts yet. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Sadly, for too many teachers, that's the reality of trying to use EdTech in their classrooms. We know that you come to school to build relationships with students and educate them, not to focus on tech support. That's where Clever comes in. Clever works with your district's Student Information System, or SIS, to automatically roster students into your ed tech programs. For example, if you have 5 math sections in your school's SIS, like PowerSchool, then those 5 math sections will be shared with Clever, which sends the sections to your math programs. If a student is added to your roster in your SIS, that student is automatically added to your ed tech programs. Same for when a student leaves your class or you get new classes in the fall. What's even better is that you and your students can use Clever to sign into your apps. Instead of trying to remember various logins and passwords, just click the app's icon in Clever and voila, you're automatically signed in. This is called Single Sign-On, or SSO. Using Clever's SSO is easy and it comes with extra benefits. For example, when students log in with Clever, you can see which programs they're using in a quick glance. You can also easily troubleshoot sign-in issues for students in the moment by logging them in if they're having trouble. That's simply not possible with other SSO options. And there's more. Here are additional ways Clever can be useful to teachers. Sending students and guardians messages directly in Clever, launching applications for an entire class or logging them out, using Clever Library to find new free and paid resources for your students with honest reviews from teachers like you. Creating a teacher page to organize programs for your students, along with links and PDFs. As former educators, we know these tools can save you lots of time, and many other teachers agree. In fact, Clever is the most widely used single sign-on portal in the US. To get going with Clever, we recommend checking out Clever Academy if you haven't already. You can access it in your Clever account or by going to clever.academy. Schools work better with Clever, and we bet your classroom can too.
Okay, so we thought that was important for you to watch just to kind of see what Clever is about. But now what we're going to do is talk about how with Clever, there's more time for you to teach and for students to learn. Like she said in the video, single sign on, if you're not familiar, SSO for short, means that by signing into Clever, you and your students can log into several different apps with just one click. Many times we see this used across elementary, but middle and high can use it as well, just by making sure they're signed into Clever. So for students, when they open up their Chrome browser, the first thing they should see is Clever. So they should already be logged in to Clever. And also with that, your rosters through Infinite Campus are already securely shared with these apps. So what that means is when students click on sign into Clever, all of your students are there with you in your class, which is amazing. When a student is added or removed, as transient as we are in JCPS, the classes are automatically updated for you. So we're going to start about how to get started with Clever. So I'm sorry if you're already using it and you know this, but maybe you'll learn something new as we go through this. And I want you to log into your teacher Clever portal. To do this, what you're going to do is open a new tab, and you should see the JCPS quick links just like on the slide, and you're going to navigate down to where the second one that says Clever. Now that you are getting signed in, you might have to log in. So just like this slide shows, you may have to click on your account and click sign in. And then the next thing you're going to see is the Clever portal, possibly, but Jesse tells me that maybe you might not see this. Some people in your school may see the screen that you see right now, select user. And what this means is that you have to choose which user you want to be right now. So am I going to log in as a teacher, or am I going to log in as a staff? There's a pretty big difference within those. If you have this option and you click in as login as teacher, this is going to take you right to your teacher Clever portal. However, if you're an AIC, if you're a district admin, if you're a principal, an assistant superintendent, you do not have a class rostered to you. Infinite Campus, just like myself, I don't have a class rostered to me, but sometimes I need to see that login as a teacher to see what the teachers are seeing in order to help people. And that's fine. But if you want to see data and different things from what the teacher sees, you need to make sure you click on login as staff. Jesse, am I correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes. So there are a few questions in chat now where people are asking they'll have access or not depending on their role. And the way Clever is designed initially was to have teachers with their rostered students access the platform. We have made some changes to where we can allow other people access, like people who do not have rosters, whether that be school admins or instructional assistants or anything like that. But there are some ways to get that access. It's not immediate.
So once you are signed in, if you click on log in as teacher, you're going to be logged in. And so what you're going to see is different apps on the page. And this is where we're going to talk about creating your teacher personal page for your classroom. And then also that enables your students single sign-on access to different platforms. For example, if you were with us in Adobe, if they were to click on Adobe, the kids would just log right in. They don't have to sign in again, which we know can be pretty annoying. But for right now, what we want you to do is I want you to scroll over on the left side, and you should see the tab that says resources, pages, my students support. So see where it says district resources? We've added those at the district level for you. Now, district resources, you'll see your backpack, Google Classroom, Google Drive, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, Infinite Campus, and several more. Another important thing is, wait, I can't log in. So if you're a school admin or a teacher or a staff member, maybe you're a classified assistant and you don't have rosters assigned to you in Infinite Campus, then you will need to have a district assignment created for you. So if you're a teacher that's joining right now and you know that you have an assistant that can't access this, the school secretary can help you with adding that district assignment in Infinite Campus. But then if you need access to, say, the admin reports or the data reports from different apps, such as Imagine Learning Classroom, then your principal has to submit that ticket to have that you added. So this is very important. Jesse and team will not add you. I will not add you unless a principal, not the AP, not the counselor, a principal submits a ticket requesting those permissions. Now, your principal can reach out to your IT3 technology specialist, which is myself or Russ Hockenberry or Don Bacon, depending on your zone, and we can help them do that. but that has to be done in order for you to have permissions. So we are going to talk about how you access digital resources in the classroom. So many of you probably have certain apps or websites or links that you need to get to frequently and or your students need to get to frequently. Or maybe, let's say like you have a Donors Choose website that you want the students to know about or anything like that. You can add those as a favorite by clicking on the heart under your teacher page. So this way the students and you can see them quicker and they will be right at the top for them to access and they won't have to scroll around or find it. So you can see on this image right here, there's a little blue heart. And then when it's dark blue, that means that it's been added as a favorite resource and it only shows up in your portal, not your student's portal. If you have a resource that you go to all the time and you favorite it, it's only going to show up for you. So what we're going to do now is talk about how you can use Clever in your classroom. So setting up your digital classroom. So the first thing that is very important to make sure you're utilizing Clever in the best way you can is to set up your own digital classroom. So you can customize this page with a title. For example, I teach fourth period English, and I can add a description, maybe the time and what happens, what school, whatever. You can add that to each different page that you create in your digital classroom. That way you're able to add resources that you want the students within that period to see and access. You're going to be given the option to select which sections and or which classes can access that page. So then when a student logs into their Clever portal, they're going to be able to see the page that you created and access those resources that you want them to see. So now for our elementary teachers, if I taught, second grade, obviously I'm their main teacher. They may have a special area they go to, but my teacher page is going to be the main page they access every single day. So I may want to have something set up for them in the different websites and resources I want them to see. However, if you're in middle or high school, you may have several different periods. So you can set up several different classes for each of those periods for the students to see. And then your students, they're able to see those teacher pages at the top of their portal. They can select which teacher they want to see if you're in middle or high or even elementary, that where several different teachers are using Clever. What are some things that maybe you already share on Clever? I had a website that I used as a hub for my class. So that was the first thing I wanted my kids to see because they knew I taught them. I modeled and showed them how they would use Clever to access that resource, which was my website. It could be Adobe Express, it could be Canva, it could be code.org, it could be several different things. You could upload PDFs directly on the page. You can upload like maybe a Google form or a doc, or maybe there's a video that you want the kids to see. Or, oh my goodness, we have 20 feet of snow outside. And my kids need to know that I'm going to be on this Google Meet link all day long to help them.
Fine. I was just going to say I use extra math in the mornings. So like when kids, especially when the buses were crazy and it's staggering. So that's something that they know to go to that isn't just normally you have to go search and add it to your page.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Having that set up and that structure in place really helps with classroom management. So the students know that the buses might be late or the car ride or whatever, but they know that they can go to Clever and access that link on your page is really helpful.
Also, Kathleen, someone is asking if you can go through the process of adding a Google Doc or slide to a teacher page.
So absolutely. So if you have your teacher page on Clever, when you're on Clever, you'll have resources and then pages. If you have a My Teacher page, present a new tab. So over on the left under pages, My Teacher pages, if you don't have one here like I do, I'm going to delete that one. I just made it. You can go over to the right and click on add and easily add your teacher page. So once you add a teacher page from here, welcome to your new teacher page. What you can do is up on the top is you can add different things. So a PDF, a link, or an app. So you can click on link. And let's say that I wanted them to go to google.com, arrival. So that means when they get there, they're going to click on that. And I'm going to click add link. So now the students see that upon arrival, they're going to click on this newly added link and do that when they're waiting for everyone else to get there for the day. Super easy. Again, add a PDF, a link, or an app. And then again, when students sign into their Chromebooks, they're going to go directly to Clever.
I put it in chat, but someone else asked if we can share a Google slide or a doc, or do you have to change it to a PDF first? No, you can share the link, whether it's published, slide deck, or what have you. You can share that link, or you can share, if you go to share settings when you're trying to share a doc or a slide or whatever, you can take that link and add it here as well, just like Kathleen just did.
Yep. So I copied the Google link here. It's called our morning routine. And then I'm going to click on add link. So now once click on that, it takes them directly to that Google slide. Yep.
You'll just want to make sure your share settings are correct before doing so.
Correct. Yeah. Make sure you have those share settings set up. You could even put your Google Classroom link here, and then they can join that. Another thing that you can do to chat with the kids is using messages. So you can send and receive those messages from the Clever portal, and students can chat with you on chat with you back and forth. Now, this may be something you're not interested in, totally understand. But if that's something that you are interested in, we just want to let you know that that is an option for you. So that's right here, my students, and then messages. So kids are able to message you in that way. You can also send announcements to your class, so very similar to Google Classroom. You can share messages with your kids all at once by using Clever, and then kids can reply as well. So what we are going to talk about now is how you can, open resources on your kiddos' devices. So if you have all of your students accessing Clever, they can go to the same digital page by you launching an app to your entire class. If I click on the three little dots, you can see where it says send. So you can either send it to, now this is saying all teachers in my grade or individual teachers. So because I don't have kids rostered to me through Infinite Campus, I'm not seeing that option, but you are able, when you do, you'll be able to click it and send it to all your students. So that can be a pretty handy tool for you to use if you want all the kiddos using the same resource that you're discussing. You can also log your entire class out of Clever. So by doing that, you can click on the class tools and log out the class. So what this will do is help keep your class under control, log all the students out, even those who are really working hard and don't want to go to the next class period or leave special area. You're able to do that right in the class tools under your student roster. How can students use Clever? So students can sign in with Clever, like I said, when they sign into their Chromebooks. So we're one-to-one. So hopefully your students have Chromebooks, and when they sign into the Chromebook, students open the internet and they will see that Clever portal first. When they click on it, it should take them directly to their teacher pages. So that's where they can see messages from their teachers and or read different announcements from their teachers.
We highly encourage to not share anything that's not approved, which you can see all the approved apps on jcps.me/learn platform. We just know that we work very hard through this process to ensure that students and teachers and staff are protected, and that the vendors that we are sharing the data with are following our measures on protecting that data. So it's very important to make sure that we're not sharing anything that we're not supposed to be. Just to answer a few questions in the chat, Kathleen, as we wrap up. If the link for the district software site can be added to Clever, can you show your Clever under resources?
Scroll down, district resources. So there's like Auburndale's library. And then here are all the district resource apps. So these are the ones that we've pushed out.
Or JCPS resources. Right there where it says looking for something, that takes you to Learn Platform to show you all the apps that are approved and not approved. You can request apps to go through the process. There is a lot to the process as far as what's being checked. So there is a process to review applications. So that link should take you to Learn Platform. And then there's another link that says Digital Resource Review Process, which should take you to jcps.me/software. And it tells you more in depth about that process in itself. Do some apps not show up on Clever? So for some things, we do have to share, like set up sharing rules. And usually the vendor will get with us on that to share specifically with your school. So that could be the case for IXL, for example. You can always submit a ticket if you're unsure, and we can tell you whether we can share it or whether you need to install the app or whatever the case may be. So not all applications that you may use are partnered with Clever. So you can always submit a ticket asking.
On the playlist on our YouTube channel, on our digital learning YouTube channel, you'll be able to find different resources and information. Here are some Clever resources. So Clever has an amazing page of like really quick questions and answers for you. I use it all the time. I know Jesse does as well. So their support center is great. And then also our playlist. But then if you're looking for more PD this year, I'm offering an asynchronous PD. So become a Clever certified teacher.